The National Food Buffer Stock Company Chief Executive Hanan Abdul-Wahab says they are committed to ensuring food security in the country. What he fails to tell us is the measure of food storage we have at the moment.
Generally, it's going on well because we have more farmers. I think we have clocked over 1 million farmers now. We're looking at about 1.5 million farmers benefiting the planting for food and jobs. I can assure you that there will not be food shortage. We have put in measures, and we have been in this business for the past 4 years, and thanks to the planting for food and jobs, where a number of farmers have been registered on the program. So we are doing our utmost best, and a clear example is that the Free Senior High School is not struggling in terms of feeding. We are always available to provide them with feed. So yes, fertilizers there have been delay in supply of fertilizer, but that issue has been resolved. A number of trucks have moved from Tema to the parts of the north to deliver fertilizers to farmers.
Edo Karewa is General Secretary of the General Agric Workers Union, GAWU. He joins us via Zoom. Mr. Karewa, we're grateful that you joined us. Clarify this point for us. Is it a national security issue disclosing the measure of food storage in any country, from your perspective?
Well, let me say good afternoon to you all. And of course, when you look at food, food is very critical. And where there's no food, there's no peace of mind, and it can lead to a national security crisis. You've seen what has happened to countries where there's no food. In our case, we don't have to wait until it gets there. But given developments, we are moving towards to a crisis, a serious crisis, food shortage in this country.
So therefore,
ours may take a different.
So therefore, based on your premise, what's the state of fertilizer distribution in Ghana as we speak? From your perspective, what's the true state of it?
Well, there's no fertilizer on the market, particularly subsidized fertilizer. We have been told that the bill that was there, government has paid it. But it doesn't just look like that. It's not like once government has approved the money to be paid, it's like going to the market and you hold the money and the fertilizer is there. The fertilizer will now have to be conveyed from Tema, from Accra to the hinterland, wherever the fertilizer is needed. And then it takes time to do that. I've also heard the CEO of the buffer stock saying that fertilizers have been delivered. You know, it's not just as easy as that, because it takes time for the fertilizer to get to the farmers. And I'll tell you that it is more than a month since we had the fertilizer crisis. If today fertilizer even gets to the farmer, you have to choose between broadcasting the fertilizer or not. And that fertilizer, when the time is past and you broadcast the fertilizer, you will not get the yield that you are expecting.
Interesting.
And it will be a waste. You incur cost, and yet you will not get a yield.
Well, the Agric Minister has declined to comment on matters regarding food security till September. But as we await his pronouncement, Edward, help us appreciate the state of food security in Ghana currently, shortly. You've rightly detailed to us the state of fertilizer distribution, but how does this dovetail into the state of food security?
You know, our soils are now used to fertilizer. And the state policy, chemical fertilizer has been introduced increasingly to our farmers. So the soils are used to chemical fertilizer.
All right.
Now, the farmer population has also been increasing every year with a view to increasing food production. You know, the logic is that when you increase the number of farmers who are, to the program, the subsidized fertilizer and subsidized seed or certified seed, it also follows that food production will go up. It's not logical that way. It is not like that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been where we are today. Since 2017, every year, the farmer population has been increasing. And yet today, we are having challenges with food. Now, as to whether in September we would have enough food or not, it's just normal, it's just natural. Anybody who has the least knowledge about agriculture knows that there's lean season and there's harvest season. So when we get to September and it is the harvest season and prices drop, and you want to use that as to mean that we have done well, it's not the case. Because the essence of policy is to intervene in the normal way of things. Nature does not treat us the way we want. So we introduce policy to intervene. After the September into the lean season, where would the food come from?
So matters are dire as we speak. Matters are dire from your perspective as we speak. Edward Kariwe, we shall continue this conversation, but we're so grateful for your input. He's the General Secretary of the General Agric Workers Union, helping us understand and appreciate matters regarding Ghana's food security.